So let's get you the Times Now exclusive, which is going to be setting the agenda. An exclusive investigation which is going to open up a covert financial pipeline which is operating quietly across India. A pipeline that begins outside the country, all the way across in the United States, travels through foreign bank cards and ends in cash withdrawals deep inside India's most sensitive zones, the red terror zones. At the center of this probe is a missionary linked network which is now under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. Investigators have tracked how foreign issued debit cards were physically being brought into India. Then they were repeatedly used to withdraw cash from ATMs, and this was across multiple states. The scale is massive and the locations raise serious national security red flags as well. We are going to tell you how the first major breakthrough came from the multi-state search operations which were carried out on 18th of April and went on to the next day as well. ED teams started conducting these simultaneous raids which happened across 6 different locations, and they managed to recover 25 foreign debit cards along with 40 lakh rupees in unaccounted cash as well. And there was also incriminating digital evidence which was seized from a man who was caught. Now, during the probe, one key individual, Meghna Deka, he was intercepted at the Bengaluru International Airport while he was attempting to bring in 24 US debit cards into India. Well, this interception was actually carried out against a LOC, a lookout circular which was issued by the Enforcement Directorate against Meghna Deka, and he is the one who was caught by the Enforcement Directorate at the Bengaluru office, airport. In fact, the ED has confirmed that there was prior intelligence inputs also about the movement of Meghna and these cards into the country as well. In fact, this is where the physical trail of the operation was firmly established with the arrest of this man, Meghna Deka. But further investigation has traced the origin of these cards to the truest bank in United States. Let's explain the entire flow which appears to be pumping into cash into a parallel economy in the red terror zones of India. Well, these foreign issued debit cards were brought into India from US and were being repeatedly used across ATMs in multiple states for the cash withdrawals. Now, since these funds were being withdrawn directly as cash, they did not enter the formal Indian banking system, which is essentially against the law, because it effectively avoids the FCRA compliance and financial monitoring mechanisms as well. Now, this method had enabled direct conversion of foreign funds into untracked domestic cash as well. So what really is the problem here? We are going to break it down for you what the allegations of the Enforcement Directorate is in the statement that they have given out, and this is it. That there was one man who had an LOC around about him, the lookout circular against him. He was caught, and he was caught with 24 debit cards which were originating from a US bank. The second charge is that there were repeated withdrawals which were made by him and the organization across many of the states in India, especially in the red terror zone as well. Third charge is that the ATM cash was used to fund TTI in India, which is an organization which was set up, a missionary organization which was set up, which was seeking funds from its funders, saying that it is all in the name of God, it was in the name of church. But TTI is not registered under FCRA norms in India, and this is a direct violation of Indian laws. Why was it not registered? But ED has also discovered that 95 crore rupees had been channeled into India in the last 6 months alone. In the last 6 months alone itself, this amount of money was being pumped in. All of this actually led to funding of Naxals allegedly by the Enforcement Directorate and in Chhattisgarh, mostly in the area of Bastar, which is one of the areas which has seen several attacks on security forces as well as the local administration by Naxals. Now you have another charge coming in that there was parallel cash economy which was being built for the Naxals to carry out anti-India activities. In fact, this is the statement which is made by the Enforcement Directorate. Now let's also tell you how the withdrawal of these funds were found to be linked to activities which were associated with Timothy Initiative or the TTI. We'll tell you more about the TTI. But first, let me go across to Priyank, who's joining us. Priyank, you got us this mega Times Now exclusive. You've managed to show to us how there is a foreign link of funding which is now emerging behind the red terror activities. Now, the India has vowed that there will be a Naxal Mukt Bharat. The deadline has already come to an end. Tell us how in the last 6 months it appears that there was foreign players who were involved in anti-India activities, at least funding of these anti-India activities.
Absolutely right, Meghna. If you remember, the Home Minister of the country, while he was addressing the Parliament and the nation, he had also mentioned the role of Enforcement Directorate in wiping out this red terror from the country, where he was also emphasizing on how the Enforcement Directorate had also focused on helping on the security forces who were working in the ground while they were eliminating those terror operatives. Now, this is a clinching piece of evidence which we have also got, where Timothy had been pumping in money. This money came into the scrutiny of the Enforcement Directorate, which showed that from the month of September 2025 till April 2026, there were crores of rupees which was funded, and the money was withdrawn in the Naxal-dominated area. How this money was being used, that got to know, the agencies got to know about it when a person named Mark, he was a foreign national, he was apprehended at the Bengaluru airport with 24 credit cards and debit cards. He could not give justification of having this kind of access to the credit card. The question was arised that why this is floutation of the banking norm. The big point is that this particular organization, which is mercenary, was not registered under FCRA, which led to detention of this particular individual. And during the course of investigation, he had also revealed that he had withdrawn the money, and when agencies probe further, this was found that this money was pumped into the Naxal-dominated area. The money was being brought under the name of development of the church. We have gone through the particular website which has been banned in India, although it's accessible in other part of the world. Our sources have sent us these videos where they have been focusing that how they are generating money and how this money is being channelized for the development of those churches, where individuals go, they will verify, and then they give money. But this is not being done. This particular money was given to those Naxal operatives to buy ammunition, to buy all these arms which were used against those minority individuals who have been killed time and again by the Naxals in the Chhattisgarh and Odisha area. So this is a massive revelation which has been made by the Enforcement Directorate. When we probed further, we got to know that this particular organization was in a disguise. They want to destabilize the internal security, and crores of money has been pumped in by them in south part of the Asia.
Well, absolutely. So it appears that the funds were actually sought in the name of church, but then they were used to fund activities which were anti-India in nature, associated with the Timothy Initiative or the TTI. So what really is the TTI? Let's tell you, it is an organization which is not registered against the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act or the FCRA, which makes it illegal to accept any foreign funds, and yet it was trying to circumvent the entire process by bringing in American debit cards, withdrawing money from the ATM and not via the proper channels, which is not allowed as per Indian laws. Now, despite this, the investigators of Enforcement Directorate found that the cash withdrawn using these foreign cards were being utilized to fund activities which were of organizations which were carrying out Maoist activities, extreme left activities across India. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate has also identified the involvement of several of the individuals across different states, which suggests that there's a structured operational network handling withdrawal, distribution and utilization of these funds. It's not just one man, Mark, who has been caught. It is a larger network which is at play. Now, this established the organizational layer behind the cash movement as well. In fact, investigators have mapped the scale of the financial inflow over the defined period as well. And this is between November 2025 and April 2026. In 6 months alone, from this date to this date, which is November 25 to April 26, In 6 months alone, in this time frame, a total of 95 crore rupees was being pumped into this parallel economy. This really puts everything in place, and it couldn't have been just one person. And all of this was done using debit cards. Let me go across to Priyank. Priyank, this kind of a network, a parallel economy as the Enforcement Directorate calls it, couldn't have been with just one man. How wide and far is the ED casting its net now?
See, the money channel is certainly something which was focused on the Enforcement Directorate, while they had also circulated this information to the parallel agencies which were working on the ground. Meghna, the CAPF was there, the Chhattisgarh police was there, and in Telangana, their greyhounds have been working to dismantle this Naxal terror network which has been operating since the 4 decades. So on the part of the probe of the financial irregularities, the Enforcement Directorate got this information. They carried out at 6 locations, which has led to getting a massive seizure of the cash inflow which was being brought. Basically, these individuals were, since they were not registered in the FCRA and they were unable to pump in money to these left-wing terror extremist group, they used to come to India, they used to withdraw the money, and through the banking channel, cash money was given to these Naxal operatives. That's why we have seen in the past as well that the security forces have managed to get this huge amount of cash from these Naxals, which was being circulated by them to get more ammunition. We are talking about a time period of 6 months, Meghna. This organization has been pumping money over the period of many years. So you can imagine the kind of money which was being pumped in by them, and an estimated approx figure is showing that 95 crore rupee has been brought in by them, which can purchase huge amount of ammunition for these Naxals. We know that top Naxal commanders have been eliminated, but once again an attempt, while the deadline was already given by the Ministry of Home Affairs, that by 31st the Naxal operative will be wiped out. The foreign organization trying to pump in money was clear-cut indication after the statement of the Home Minister that they want to still destabilize India's internal security.
Naxal Mukt Bharat is the dream and the vow of our security forces, that they are going to cleanse India of red terror. But now what Priyank brings to us is the silent puppeteer, the hand behind the Naxal terror. Where was the funding coming from? Well, you have it there on your screens. Thank you so much, Priyank, for getting us this mega exclusive. But with that, let's move on in the bulletin now. In fact, this is another big boost for the security forces who have been fighting terror and organized crime. Salim Dola, who is a close associate of the drug don Dawood Ibrahim, he's been brought back to India to face Indian law. That's right, Salim Dola has been deported to India after an operation by the Intelligence Department in coordination with international agencies. He was brought to the Delhi airport by a special plane this morning and is currently facing interrogation by intelligence agencies. He has been arrested in Islamabad, in Istanbul, and now been brought back to India. With that, more big breaking news which is coming in after the narco kingpin, as he is being called, brought back to India. You have the first reaction coming in from Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who hails the major breakthrough. In fact, what exactly it is that Union Home Minister has said about the narco syndicate? Well, let's take you through the post which has been put in by the Union Home Minister. This is what Amit Shah has said. In fact, he says zero tolerance against narco syndicate. The Narcotics Bureau today made a major breakthrough in securing the return of notorious drug trafficker Mohammed Salim Doda from Turkey under Modi's mission to ruthlessly smash the drug cartels. And anti-India narcotics agencies have extended their claws across the border through a robust network of global agencies. Now, no matter where they hide, no place is safe for the drug kingpins. Let me go across to Bhavtosh, who's joining us. Bhavtosh, huge boost for the security agencies who've been fighting organized crime, especially when it comes to the drug cartels, to have Dola back here in India. Tell us about his crimes and why Union Home Minister Amit Shah says that this is one of the biggest breakthroughs for the security forces and to ensure that there is zero tolerance for narco syndicates.
Well, it's a massive victory for India, primarily because Salim Dola was one of the close associates of Dawood Ibrahim. He was running a $1 billion network of Dawood Ibrahim from Middle East. In fact, he was caught last week by by intelligence agencies on a tip-off that was given by intelligence agencies from India, and subsequent to that, he was arrested, detained in Istanbul, and subsequent to that, because of India's effort, he was detained there, and early this morning he was brought back to India, and it's expected that NCB will be taking his custody. Now, on an input that was given by NCB, he was detained there, and it's expected that NCB will be taking his custody. Now, on an input that was given by Mumbai police, he was in fact, a red notice was issued. Now, his son was in fact brought back to India, and he was taken into custody by CBI, and then he was subsequently arrested. As far as Salim Dola is concerned, he was running a synthetic drug business, and he was in fact taken into custody. There are several cases that have been registered, and multiple agencies have also booked him. He was in fact involved in a synthetic drug business. He was in fact also involved in MD business, which is synthetic drug business, and also multiple cases have been registered not only by Mumbai police but also by Enforcement Directorate. In October, there was raids that were carried out by the Enforcement Directorate and other agencies. Cases have been registered by NCB as well as by Enforcement Directorate. His son as well as other family members have also been arrested. Now, these are the cases that have been registered by various agencies. It's expected that he will be produced by NCB in Delhi court, and it could also be possible that Mumbai police will be taking his custody. Now, the question is who will be taking his custody, but more importantly, Meghna, the question is the manner in which he has been brought in. This shows that India is India is taking strict action against drug lords who have been operating from Middle East, and Salim Dola's deportation clearly shows that there is zero tolerance as far as drug business is concerned. Salim Dola has been brought back, and it's expected that his questioning will reveal how D Company has been operating for years from Middle East, and his deportation clearly shows that drug business as far as D Company is concerned, strict action will be taken against
Zero tolerance towards drug cartels, and the message is very clear because it is not just words, it's backed by the action. Thank you so much for joining us, Bhavtosh. With that, more breaking news which is coming in. Well, Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has delivered a strong anti-terror message at the SCO. Now, with a clear warning aimed at Pakistan, Rajnath Singh has said that the Pahalgam carnage shook humanity to its core, underlining the need for zero tolerance against terrorism. Referring to Operation Sindoor, he has in fact asserted that India has demonstrated firm resolve and that terror hubs are no longer immune from action. Calling for a united global front, the Defence Minister has urged nations to act decisively against terrorism, stressing that no cause can ever justify acts of terror.
22 अप्रैल को हमने पहलगाम में हुए भीषण आतंकी हमले के पीड़ितों को श्रद्धांजलि दी है। उस घटना ने न केवल एक क्षेत्र बल्कि पूरी मानवता को झकझोर कर रख दिया था। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान हमने यह स्पष्ट कर दिया कि आतंकवाद के केंद्र अब सजा पाने से किसी प्रकार से बच नहीं सकते। आतंकवाद और उसके समर्थकों के प्रति यह हमारे जीरो टॉलरेंस के दृष्टिकोण का प्रमाण था, जिसे प्रतिष्ठित मंच ने भी स्वीकार किया है।
Let me go across to Mayank for an understanding of the messaging behind Rajnath Singh's word. Nothing new there when it comes to the Pakistan link that we have seen and proved with dossier after dossier in Pahalgam as well. But Mayank, the significance of the fact that the Raksha Mantri has said that at a global level at the forum of SCO.
See, it is like taking political responsibility has been taken by him. These words signify that. The biggest part is actually uncertainty. This word I am using so as to thrash in the point that any whether infrastructure or any person who plans something related to or tries to attack the sovereignty of the country, uncertainty will prevail in his mind, because Indian Army or Indian military will not leave the person whether inside the territory, deep inside the territory, even if the person is around 200 or 300 kilometers inside any territory, that person will have a uncertainty that he'll be pursued and may be eliminated in that case if he has done something wrong against the country. This is the kind of a message which is it is actually. So what there are two aspects that till now, if on an operation anybody has conducted any terror act against India and he had felt safe, then in this case it was a clear message that deeper inside a territory that person will be pursued and will not be left. That's the kind of a message.
Absolutely, a big anti-terror message there coming out from India at the global stage. Thank you so much, Mayank, for joining us. Now that's all we could pack in for you here on Setting the Agenda. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow at the same time, 12 noon, only here on Times Now. Stay tuned.